A golfer was in sand trap, waiting to hit out of it. But he had another guy were looking down the fairway at the two escaping spies. Julio and I backed out into the bushes. Streak growled. Shh, I whispered. Did you see who it was? Julio asked. I think so. Let's get out of here. We headed back through the jungle and out onto our street. I let Streak go and she took off after a mongoose and scurried across the road down by my house. So who was it? Julio asked. You'll never in your life guess. Tito? Nope. Shyla and Maya. For real? Pretty sure. But was I? I wasn't like Maya to spy on us. Shyla, yes, but not Maya. I wondered what they were up to. Has to be their project. Why else would Maya be with Shyla? Hey, I said, if they're working on their project, then you owe me a bag of dried shrimp. Okay, fine. But how come they were spying on us? Maybe they weren't. Maybe they were just hiding. But why? We headed to Julio's house and sat on the grass in his front yard. From there, I could see Maya's house, like always. Maya's black cat Zippy was slipping out in the street. I leaned back on my elbows. Sooner or later, they got to show. Sooner, Julio said. Look, Maya and Sheila were heading out of the Maya's garage. Only they were dressed different. Huh, Julio said. I thought one was pink and one was black. Now I was worried. Was I wrong? No, I can tell those two from a mile away. They changed. Sneaky, Julio said. Maya and Shala looked our way and waved. Sneaky is right. Pretending nothing happened, they headed up the street in the opposite direction. I could hear them laughing. Something was up. Chapter 8 Pot of Tears. Later me and Julio tried to get up close to his brother's pet white rat and check his breath. But it bit Julio's nose, so we gave that up. We need a zoo, I said. We headed out of his zoo. I bet they got all kind of stink breath here. Zoo breath. Probably monkeys got the worst. How come? They were eating bugs from each other's heads. That's weird, man. Not as weird as that, I said, pointing my chin down the street. Was a cat with a death wish. Zippy, the black blob, was still sleeping out in the middle of the road. Someday he was going to get squished. Let's go see if the cat's breath is as bad as dog's. Julio shrugged. They ate mice. And they always licking their oak holes. Ew, butt breath. We headed toward the black blob. Hey, Zipster, I said. Zippy Zippy stretched and looked up at us. I squatted. Open up, Julio wanted to smell your breath. Your turn, Julio said. I already got bit once. I got closer to Zippy. Okay, let me have it. Zippy rolled over on his back. I took a quick snip and jumped back when he clawed at me. Yuck. Bad, Julio asked. Cat food breath. We headed back to my house. Leeward Jeep was still in the driveway. When Mom got home, I was thinking maybe I'd ask her if Julio could sleep over so we could come up with fresh ideas. We headed into the garage. Julio stopped. Ha, look what your dog did. Streak was lounging on the mat by the kitchen door, bits of rubber between his paws. She slapped her tail on the ground and looked up. Part of one of the mom's rubber slipper hung from the side of her mouth. Geez, Louis Streak, you want to get sent back to Humane Society tonight? Give me that. I yanked what was left of the slipper out of her mouth and scooped up the shredded pieces, then tossed it all into the garbage can. Streak looked up with a goofy dog grin. Hey, you so lucky I came home before mom did because you would be history if she saw what you were doing. History. Streak yawned, her eyes turning into slits. Julio laughed his head off. Inside, Leeward, Darcy, and Stella were standing around in the kitchen. What's going on? I asked. Darcy beamed. We was waiting for mom. We are going to surprise her. Stella sat on the stool at the counter, gazing out the window. Shock her is more like it. Come see, Darcy said, grabbing my hand. Julio wagged his eyebrows. Let's do it. Leeward has covered the new toilet with the old sheet. Darcy lifted up. There was a big red Christmas bow stuck to the seat. Wow, I said. Someone has cleaned up mom's entire bathroom. There was even vase of flour and place sparkled. We waited in the kitchen. Darcy has invited her stuffed parrot Petey there to see it. When mom finally came home, we cheered. What's all this? She said. Streak tried to squeeze in the door behind, but mom nudged her back into the garage with her foot. Mom pecked Leeward on his cheek. Welcome home, he said. You don't know how to welcome it. What's a busy day at the store? She sighed. Hi, Julio. Julio lifted his chin. Okay, family. Mom said, give me and Darcy quick hugs. Um, what's going on here? Darcy tugged her dress. We have a surprise for you. Yeah, Mom, I said. You gotta see it. Stella rolled her big eyes like big deal. Mom dropped her keys and purse on the counter. I could use a surprise. Leeward stood behind her and massaged her shoulders. Mom closed her eyes. Come on, Leeward said. Stopping, we show you. Mom grabbed his hand and put it back on his shoulder. Can't we just stay here a minute? But Darcy was too excited. Come see, come see. Mom followed us down the hall. Close your eyes, Leeward said. We squeezed in close. Even Stella Darcy jumped up and down. Open your eyes, Mom. Leeward pulled the sheet away. Oh my, Mom whispered. She put a fist um, to her lips and looked at us. Tears welled in her eyes. Tears over a toilet? Didn't she like it? Mom knelt down and gathered me and Darcy in. She gave us the biggest hug ever. You don't know, you just don't know. I'm so lucky to have so much help. I just love you all to pieces. Stella watched a second, then turned and walked away. You liked it? Leeward asked. I like you, she said and reached for his hand. Can Julio sleep over, Mom? I asked. Of course he can, but only after you shovel up all your dog's little treasures in the yard. Sure, Mom. Julio and I started to leave. Wait. Darcy said. I stopped. I forgot to talk to Dad today. He called. He said he'll call again later to talk to you. I glanced at Mom. Her happy face became a frown. She tried to turn it back into a smile. Go, Leeward said, giving me back a little shove. I come get you if he calls back. Julio and I headed for a pooper scooper. Chapter 9 Treasures. Streak was lounging on the doormat. Hey, girl, I said, come help us clean up your mess. I reached down and stretched her under the chin. She liked that. Try to stay out of the trouble, okay? Mom's about 5 minutes from sending you to the moon. Julio snorted. Impossible for that mutt to stay out of trouble. I laughed. True. I grabbed the shovel. Crusty brown stuff was dried out on the blade. Julio pointed it at with his chin. What's that? Hair. Smell it and tell me. Julio jerked back and ran out of the garage into the sunlight. Hey, listen, he said. I gotta go to tell my mom I'm staying at your place tonight and get my sleeping bags too. Oh no, you won't. Help me do this first. Then I shall go with you. Fine, but no way I'm shoveling up that stink stuff. I grinned. Watch your steps. Streak followed us into the yard. I spotted something black on the lawn. I went over to see what it was. Oh no, I whispered. Julio shook his head. Can't salvage that. I looked over my shoulder. No one was looking out the window. I picked up Mom chewed up black leather sandal and flung it into the bushes. If she ever saw it, Streak would be in big trouble. And me too. Dang dog. I said it to Streak. I can't get Mom a new rubber slipper. They don't cost much, but sandals? Do you know how hard it is to make money? Streak yawned. I sighed and looked around. The long, uncut grass was so full of hidden dog treasure that I didn't know where to start. So I just went hunting, scooping stuff, and flipping it all into the bushes between our houses and the river bowing. Julio winched. Remind me never to go in those bushes. Got that right. I scooped more poop thinking about what Dad did with Chewy. That mutt had bad breath too. Not, no, not bad, more like death. I laughed. What? Do you remember our old dog Chewy? Yeah, sort of. My dad used to brush his teeth for real. I nodded. With a toothbrush. Chewy made faces, smacked his lip. When he was done, Dad squirted his mouth with a hose. Weird, yeah, but funny too. Now I was starting to miss Dad and Chewy. Usually I don't think about them. They'd been gone a longer time. I was almost 6 when they left. At the time, I just thought that was how it was. Dad moved on. No big deal, but it was a big deal. I just kept it to myself. Easier that way. I blew out a long breath. Then I wondered if Chewy old dog toothpaste and dog shampoo was still around. Dad used to keep it all under the sink in the kitchen. Here, I said. I handed Julio the shovel and ran toward the house. Finish it up. I have to check something. Julio took shovel, then realized what he he'd just done. Hey, I ain't flipping no dog do. Bowing, I shouted over my shoulder. You owe me, punk. I pay you in friendship. Chapter 10 Dog Do City. Hi, Mom, I said, running into the kitchen. She was standing at the counter looking at the newspaper. Leywood was outside sweeping the patio. Without looking up, Mom said, That was quick. Did you get all the. Yeah, Mom, I'm on it. Thank you. Yes, sure. I said, dropping to my knees. I checked under the kitchen sink. There it was, hidden way in the back. Bingo. Dog toothpaste, dog shampoo, and the old brush with some of the Chewy's hair in it. I sat back on my heels. Dang. Now I really Miss them. What are you looking for? Mom asked. I put the brush back and kept the shampoo and toothpaste. The stuff had to be as old as dirt. I shrugged. Give it a try, Calvin. Oh, I was thinking about giving Strake a bath or something. Look, Jewish old shampoo is still here. Throw it out. But a bath is a great idea. We can get you some new shampoo. I opened the container and smelled it. Smells fine to me. I don't know. Calvin, everything has a shelf life. Oh, what? It's old. Toss it. I looked the shampoo and the toothpaste out to the garage, but I didn't toss them. I set them down by some old paint cans. I didn't have to give her a bath right now. When I walked out of the garage, I saw them again. The spies, but this time I could tell who it was for. Sure. Maya and Shayla sneaked around in the bushes. Those bushes. Dog do city. Julio, I whispered. Come up to him. Casual like. He scowled at me. A shovel loaded to the max. Wait, I whispered. Don't toss it. Look, Maya and Shayla are spying again. Julio's eyes shifted. Where they where are they? In the bushes. What bushes? I grinned. Not, he said with the gleam in his eyes. I nodded. Shh. We waited, listening, Julio holding the loaded shovel, both of us trying not to crack up. A shriek came from the bushes. Ew! Ick, 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 ick. Julio sprouted out a laugh and spilled a loaded shovel near my bare feet. I jumped off. I jumped out of the way. I heard Maya trying to quiet Sheila. Bits of color flashed through the bushes as they raced out of there, trying not to be seen. Julio scooped up the fallen mesh and slipped into the bushes. Boing, he flung the shovel toward the house. We stumbled over to some clean grass and fell holding the other side and laughing so hard it hurts. 15 minutes later, still grinning, we went to Julio's house to get his sleeping bag. Down the street, Maya and Sheila were in Maya's yard squirting their feet with the hose. Julio and I cracked up all over again. Oh man, if this wasn't a perfect day, I didn't know what was. Chapter 11. Portrait. We still had some good sunlight left, so me, Julio, and Darcy decided to give Streak a bath. Maybe I could make her smell good, look good, and act good. Then Mom and Stella wouldn't have so much to complain about. Julio grabbed the old shampoo, and um, I got out Darcy's inflatable swimming pool and blew it up. Oh, I said, feeling dizzy. Okay, Darcy, bring the hose and turn on the water. As we filled the pool, Strick came over for the drink. Julio leaned down to pet her. This isn't your water bowl, you, you Lolo dog. I turned off the water. Okay, Streak, time to clean up. I lifted her into the pool. Um, she cocked her head like, what are we doing here? But she seemed to like it and sat down in the water. See, I said, it was nice. The front door slapped, leeward, waved, and headed around the side of the house to get Blackie, who'd had a long day of shady rest. A minute later, he was back. Blackie huffing along with Blackie huffing along behind him. I think he likes it here. Leeward left Blackie onto the front seat of the jeep, got in, started it up, and drove off, giving the horn a toot. Blackie's ears went back in the breeze. Crazy, Julio said. Me and Julio went back to the scooping handfuls of water and over Streak's head. She liked it. Good girl, I said. Julio gave Streak a pat. You are helping us, dog. Mr. Purdy will give us an A plus for discovering how to get rid of your stink. I grabbed Chewy's old shampoo. Yeah, but we are supposed to be discovering how come she got a stink breath. Darcy looked up. Well, that's easy, Calvin. What's easy? Why she has a bad breath. I looked at her. Why? It's Leeward's fault. He gives her fish heads. I sat back. You're right, the fish heads. Streak liked her bath so much she wouldn't leave the pool. I lifted her out. She shook herself off all over us, but who cared? We were already soaked. Julio sniffed. Streak still stinks. That's just wet dog smell, I said. Whenever she comes out of the river, she smells like that. Streak rolled around in the grass. Luckily, it was the clean part. She's pretty much did her business in one area of the yard. Come eat. Stella from the house. We went in through the garage to the kitchen and one place Streak could go in the house. Mom and Stella were taking food out to the table, which was in the living room. Where did Leeward go? I asked. He'll be back in the time for dessert. He had to run Blackie home, as he has to feed his dogs. Leeward had a pig and 4 dogs. He must have to scoop poop too. I thought he hoped he had more than a shovel, maybe a bulldozer. Yuck, Stella snapped. What stinks? I glanced at Streak. I sort of smelled something too. Mom looked at us. Julio took a step away. I think she got into something after the bath. Stella gagged, going for drama. That's putrid. What is it? Mom pointed toward the door. Take her out now. I snapped to it. Come on, girl, I'll bring you your dinner. I opened the door to the garage and nudged Streak out. Me and Julio followed. I flipped onto the garage and it was getting dark. Man, I said, she rolled in something dead toad. Julio bent close. Yeah, probably. Dang thing are everywhere. We got to hose her off. I looked at Streak. You have to get clean and stay clean, girl. Mom is going to make me give you back. And if she does, well, I'm just going to have to run away. That's all. You and me both. Streak gave me that look dog dogs give you when they know they have done something bad. I squatted to pet her head. I know. You can't help it. Streak licked my hand. Julio squirted us both with the hose. Chapter 12. Little Johnny Coconut. Ajay!